There are moments in life when the pain feels personal, when disappointment hits so deep that you start questioning who you are. You wake up carrying the weight of failure, rejection, loss, or delay, and slowly, without realizing it, you begin to label yourself by what went wrong. But hear this clearly: what you're going through is an experience, not your identity. The struggle may be loud, but it does not have the authority to name you. Pain is something you feel, not something you are. And the moment you confuse the two, you give temporary circumstances permanent power. Too many people lower their heads because they think their situation defines them. They didn't get the job, so now they think they're not good enough. A relationship ended, so now they think they're unlovable. A dream didn't work out on the first try, so now they think they're not meant for greatness. That's a lie. Life will hit you, but life hitting you doesn't mean life has beaten you. The fact that you're still here, still breathing, still thinking about getting better, is proof that the story isn't finished. You don't put a period where life only placed a comma. Keeping your head up means refusing to let a moment rewrite your entire narrative. It means understanding that bad days don't cancel good potential. You may be wounded, but you are not worthless. You may be tired, but you are not done. There is a difference between being broken and being defeated. Broken things can be rebuilt. Defeat only happens when you surrender your belief in who you are becoming. Some of the strongest people you admire were once in places they didn't talk about. They cried in private, doubted themselves, questioned their path. But they never allowed the pain to steal their identity. They learned to say, "This hurts, but this isn't me." And that mindset is the difference between those who rise and those who remain stuck. When you keep your head up, you're telling life, "You can test me, but you can't label me." Pain has a purpose, but it is not a prison. It's a teacher, not a master. It shows you what needs to grow, what needs to heal, and what needs to change. But it doesn't get to decide your worth. Every scar you carry is evidence that you survived something that could have destroyed you. That's not weakness, that's strength in disguise. And when you start seeing your pain as proof of endurance instead of proof of failure, your posture changes. Your mindset changes, your future changes. Keeping your head up also means talking to yourself differently. You stop saying, "I am a failure," and start saying, "I failed, but I'm learning." You stop saying, "I'm not enough," and start saying, "I'm growing." Language matters because what you repeat, you eventually believe, and what you believe, you become. Don't let negative moments become permanent labels in your mind. So stand tall even when it hurts. Look forward even when the path is unclear. Remind yourself daily that this season is shaping you, not defining you. You are bigger than this moment, stronger than this pain, and greater than this setback. Keep your head up not because everything is easy, but because everything you're going through is preparing you for what's next. There are seasons in your life when everything feels heavy, when the pressure doesn't let up and you start asking yourself, "Why me?" You feel squeezed by expectations, by responsibilities, by failures, by time. But here's the truth most people don't understand. Pressure is not punishment. Pressure is preparation. If life is pressing you right now, it's because there's something valuable inside you that's being shaped. Nobody puts pressure on something empty. Pressure shows up where purpose lives. Think about this. Nothing great is formed without resistance. Muscles don't grow without strain. Character doesn't develop without challenge. Strength doesn't appear without adversity. So when the pressure rises, it's not a sign that you're weak. It's a sign that you're being stretched for a higher level. The problem is, most people interpret pressure as a signal to quit, when it's actually a signal to grow. They bow their heads, shrink their vision, and lower their expectations, not realizing that the very weight they're carrying is proof that they're capable of more. Keeping your head up in pressure means trusting the process even when it's uncomfortable. It means understanding that comfort never produces greatness. If everything was easy, you'd stay the same. But life didn't design you to stay the same. It designed you to evolve. The pressure you feel today is building the discipline you'll need tomorrow. It's sharpening your focus. It's strengthening your resolve. It's teaching you how to stand firm when things don't go your way. Some people crack under pressure because they only see what they're losing, not what they're becoming. They focus on the stress, the fatigue, the obstacles, but they miss the growth happening underneath. Pressure reveals who you really are. It exposes your habits, your mindset, your commitment level. And if you don't run from it, pressure will turn you into someone you couldn't have become any other way. You have to stop asking, "Why is this so hard?" and start asking, "What is this building in me?" Because every challenge is training you for a future moment that demands strength you don't yet have. Life won't give you the assignment until it develops the capacity. So if the weight feels heavy, it's because you're being prepared to carry something meaningful. Keeping your head up under pressure also means refusing to panic. Pressure tries to rush you into bad decisions, negative thinking, and self-doubt. But when you stay calm, stay focused, and stay committed, pressure loses its power. You don't crumble, you rise. You don't break, you bend and come back stronger. The same pressure that crushes some people creates greatness in others. The difference is mindset, and understand this. Pressure doesn't last forever, but preparation does. One day, you'll look back and realize that the hardest moments were the ones that forged your confidence. You'll see that the nights you wanted to quit were the nights you were being built. The struggle wasn't sent to stop you, it was sent to shape you. So keep your head up when it's tight. Keep moving when it's heavy. Keep believing when it's uncomfortable. Because pressure isn't there to destroy you. It's there to develop you into the version of yourself that can handle what you've been praying for. There will be moments when you fall, when life knocks the wind out of you and leaves you staring at the ground, wondering how it all went wrong. The mistake most people make in those moments is believing that the fall is the end of the story, but falling is not failure, it's feedback. It's proof that you tried, that you moved, that you dared to step forward instead of standing still. The real loss isn't falling down, it's staying down and letting the setback convince you that you're finished. Keeping your head up after a setback means understanding that your comeback carries more power than your collapse. When you fall, you gain perspective you never had while standing. You learn what doesn't work, who's really for you, and what you need to change. That knowledge becomes fuel if you choose to use it. Some people let a setback embarrass them into silence, but others let it educate them into strength. The difference is not talent, it's mindset. Setbacks have a way of exposing how badly you want it. When everything is smooth, commitment is easy. But when the plan fails, the door closes, or the results don't show up, that's when desire is tested. This is where many people quit, not because they can't continue, but because they don't want to face the discomfort of starting again. But greatness has always required resilience. The willingness to rise one more time than you fall is what separates those who succeed from those who only dream. A comeback isn't about pretending the fall didn't hurt. It's about refusing to let the pain paralyze you. You acknowledge the disappointment, you accept the lesson, and then you move forward with clarity. Every time you get back up, you're not the same person who fell. You're wiser, you're stronger, you're more aware. That's why your comeback is never just a return. It's an upgrade. Keeping your head up also means letting go of shame. Shame tells you to hide, to stay quiet, to believe you've lost your right to try again. But shame has never produced growth, only fear. You weren't meant to be perfect, you were meant to be persistent. The people you admire didn't win because they avoided setbacks. They won because they refused to let setbacks define them. Life will test your ability to recover. It will ask you, can you still believe after you've been disappointed? Can you still move forward after you've been hurt? And every time you choose to rise, you answer those questions with action. You prove to yourself that your future is bigger than your failure. One day, the very thing that knocked you down will become part of your testimony. The setback will make sense. The delay will reveal its purpose. And the fall that once embarrassed you will empower someone else who's struggling to get back up. That's the power of a comeback. It turns pain into purpose. So don't stay on the ground. Lift your head. Take a breath. Stand up with what you've learned, not with what you've lost. Because the fall didn't end you. It positioned you for a stronger rise. There will be days when you don't feel strong, motivated, or inspired. Days when your emotions are heavy and your confidence feels distant. In those moments, hope won't show up as a feeling. It will show up as a choice, and that's what most people misunderstand. They think hope is something you wait for, something that magically appears when circumstances improve. But real hope is a discipline. It's something you practice, especially when everything inside you wants to give up. Keeping your head up means deciding to believe even when your emotions are trying to convince you otherwise. Feelings change, they rise and fall based on circumstances, opinions, and temporary results. If you let your feelings lead, your direction will constantly shift. But when you choose hope as a discipline, you stay steady. You move forward even when motivation is low. You show up even when enthusiasm is gone. And that consistency is what creates long-term breakthroughs. Discipline is doing what needs to be done regardless of how you feel. That's why hope, when practiced daily, becomes powerful. It shows up in small decisions, getting out of bed when you want to hide, speaking positively when negativity feels easier, taking one more step when stopping seems reasonable. These choices may feel insignificant in the moment, but over time they shape your mindset and strengthen your resilience. Hope as a discipline also means guarding your thoughts. What you allow into your mind determines what you believe about your future. If you constantly replay worst-case scenarios, failures, and doubts, your head will drop without you even noticing. But when you intentionally feed your mind with belief, vision, and possibility, your posture changes. You start standing taller, thinking clearer, and moving with purpose, not because life got easier, but because your inner world got stronger. Keeping your head up requires daily reinforcement. You remind yourself why you started. You remember what you've already survived. You speak life over your situation even when results haven't shown up yet. This isn't denial, it's faith in motion. It's choosing to act as if growth is happening even when you can't see it. And often, progress is invisible before it becomes undeniable. There will be moments when quitting feels logical, when waiting feels safer, when lowering your expectations feels like protection. But hope pushes you past logic and comfort. It tells you to keep moving, to keep believing, to keep showing up. Not recklessly, but courageously, because the greatest victories are usually preceded by seasons where hope was the only thing holding you together. Eventually, the discipline of hope becomes your default response. Instead of panicking, you persist. Instead of doubting, you adjust. Instead of quitting, you recommit. And one day, you'll realize that what carried you through wasn't luck or perfect timing. It was the decision you made over and over again to keep your head up when life tried to pull it down. You don't need to feel ready to continue. You just need to choose to continue. Make hope your habit. Make belief your practice, and no matter what comes your way, keep your head up, because consistency and hope always leads to victory.